Hello, watch people. You know what time it is. I'm Greggie Boy, and tonight my co-hosts are the lovely Kaylee.
Hi, guys.
And the equally as lovely Gavin.
You're so much better than the real host. I'm just saying, Greg.
It's not hard, to be fair, is it?
Your picture looks better on the back. Did you like that? We've now got your picture all up over the backdrop.
You speak into the mic, which...
Yeah. You're 100% better than the boss.
Yeah, if there's any doubt about, me being on the show, so...
It's plastered all over the place. Great to have you with us on a Monday night, Greg. Thank you so much for coming down. I know it was a little bit of a 1.5 hour drive. Before I go any further, I'd just also like to say a huge, ginormous thank you to Paul Thorpe and to Russell the Mad Watch Collector for stepping in last week. And not just stepping in, but doing a far better job than Spencer and I do week in, week out. Although we didn't watch the show live because we were at a wedding, I did watch it at 2:30 in the morning, a little bit worse for wears, and I loved it. So thank you guys for stepping in, and of course, you're more than welcome to come back anytime. Yes. Kaylee, you quite like having the boys down, didn't you?
It was so much fun doing it last week.
Loved it.
Obviously, nothing against you and Spence, but it was good. Yeah, it was funny.
Paul Thorpe saying, Greggie, you're looking very slick.
There's a little story about that. My hair, obviously, is a little bit thin. And, I was saying to Gav earlier, you never see the top of your own head. And it wasn't until I did this show last time with these pictures that I realised how bored I was. So I tried to conjure something up, and then we just got caught in the rain, and it's just ruined it.
Yeah.
So
Torrential
I'm just
rain.
going to tip my head back like that throughout the show, so you can't see.
And there you go. There you go. So yes, it's been an interesting week. Queen's Jubilee. How was that for everybody? Anybody actually take any notice of it, or?
Yeah, I got a 4-day weekend.
So you got some time off work?
Yeah.
Spencer must have been choking on that. Everybody having 2 days off extra. Yeah. Greggie, did you have like street parties and?
Not really for me. We went down to Brighton for a few days with the family and gave the staff a day off.
Hooray.
Which meant I got a day off, so that was nice.
Okay.
But yeah, not really a monarchist, shall we say?
Oh, you're not?
Not
okay.
Really.
No, not a big fan of the royal family.
I'm a patriot, but not.
You're a patriot, but not a fan of the royal family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair to say.
Well, I say, God save the Queen. And speaking of God save the Queen, what are you wearing this week, Queenie? Wrist roll. What do you got on?
I am wearing...
Aye. Let's bring it over. You've got on the Mars Moonswatch, borrowed from...
Yours truly,
Yes, Gavin. Yes. The Moonswatch quest goes on, and I'm pleased to report, everybody, in case you hadn't already noticed, I'm having a little bit of success now. I'm up to a whole 3. Okay, but this one I actually love. If you like in that, pop it in the comments. Yeah, really love it. And that's the Saturn V rockets on there. So so Kaylee was sporting the Moonswatch, my one. Greggie, what have you got on today?
I've got on my newest watch. I don't know how I can show it best.
Well, if you take it off, I'll pop it under the camera here.
So this is the Tudor Black Bay Pro.
Right, absolutely.
Had for a few weeks.
Absolutely. And how are you enjoying this?
I really like it. It's a little bit smaller than what I'd usually wear. I think it's 39 and a half. But it's it wears quite well, so yeah, but I really like it. I do like Tudor.
As you know, Greg, I've been after one of these also since the day it was launched. And funnily enough, I'm happy to say that I actually got the call. I thought it was a call for a different watch, to be fair. And I also have one. But you know what? I've been so busy, I actually haven't even taken it out the box. And I'm far more keen on wearing my Moonswatches. But I actually better check that she did put it in the box. Yeah, there we go. So, yep, still stickered, Kaylee.
Lovely.
Wow.
Not a seller, though. Not a seller.
Nice.
But yeah, super happy, super excited to be wearing it. Comfortable to wear?
Yeah, really nice. It's got the glide lock on there.
Yep, that's right.
Similar to the Rolex, so you can get it just how you want it. But yeah.
Fabulous. And are you surprised there's a kind of a waiting list for these things? I mean, they say it's a waiting list, but are you surprised?
I don't think we'd have thought there would have been a few years ago, but with the recent releases, this being the case with the hot ones, with the, what's it called, the panda-looking one, and also the root beer as well. Yep. So I think it's probably going to be the way it is.
Now, I know you're not a royalist, but I am sporting. I've got the Queen's Jubilee swatch only because Ian Nicholson and a few others absolutely drove me mad and said, Gavin, you should absolutely buy it. It looks terrible on me. But actually, there we go. That is the special edition, limited edition swatch that was sold over the last few weeks. I think it's pretty much sold out now. And just so you know, that every month, as the months go around, the Queen's outfit actually changes. It changes colour. So that's that little gimmick. Gav, you have Jiggy Jack's Queenie swatch on. I absolutely do. Yeah, it's lovely. It's now going to go safely back into its box where it will sit for the next 30 years until I die and my children open up this box and go, what Rolex has he got? And there'll be a bunch of swatches just to disappoint them. James E. Adams says, Greggie boy, the man, the myth, the legend. Nice to see you on the other side of the camera. Top bloke.
Hello,
Ian Nicholson. Ooh, Gavin, can I win that Tudor? Well, that would be a lovely idea, except I'm going to keep that one, if you don't mind. If you don't mind. Matt H., the missus loves the Queen swatch, as do I. Guys, if you do have any questions for Greg, specifically, ask him anything. He's here to reveal all tonight. And of course, the lovely Kaylee. Kaylee, we'd like a quick news update for you, because I saw a few people have been mentioning on one of our streams that went out earlier about one of the watch unboxings. Janilda. Give us an update on Janilda.
Okay, Janilda has not yet had her baby. The poor thing is...
When was she due?
A week ago Sunday.
Oh, wow. So she's like 9 days overdue now?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's properly cooking.
The baby's ready. So any day now, hopefully.
Any day now, baby Gav is going to be making an appearance.
Hopefully, for her sake, God.
Yeah.
People got the wrong end of the stick last week when we were saying about baby Gav as to... I don't think people saw the episode where we were saying about just being the name rather than being the father. So.
Oh, right, yeah, no, it's definitely just the name. Uncle Jonga, is Greggie boy talking fragrances this evening? Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to be talking
we'll have a little
fragrances.
talk.
Before we actually get into the actual full fragrance talk, of course, Greggie boy always turns up with a little gift for us all, and I'm going to just get these out because I was just saying... You always seem to get it right with me. I have a particular smell I like, and every time you buy me something or give me something, you get it right. This is called Serge Lutens.
Yep.
Serge Lutens. Shergui.
Yeah.
And it smells absolutely... I wish this was like a scratch and sniff. I could just rub it on the microphone. But
it's a good one.
Yeah. Well, can you tell me what that's made up of?
The key note in there is actually hay.
Hay,
not, but it's got vanilla in there.
Hey.
Yeah, I can smell the vanilla.
But it's not really dominant in anything. It's just a really nice blend.
And the second one is called Xerjoff Oudin.
That's it. That's an Italian fragrance. Xerjoff's a brand, very high-end
absolutely
brand.
I mean, it's absolutely stunning.
Beautiful, isn't it?
And I just want to know, how is it you get me right, or is this a brand sort of smells that men go for generally? What is it?
I try to sort of suit fragrances for people, because I think you're a lot of factors involved in what works for you. Your age, your personality, whether you're outgoing, whether you're introvert, different fragrances. So I try and suit fragrances for each person that I give them to. Don't always get it right, but
it's interesting because
I picked all right.
I have a client who went and had like a makeover of wardrobe, and she got told that her colour is autumn. So she only wears autumnal colours in her entire sort of range. There could be a whole line here for you about matching up smells.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those two will suit you, so I hope you like them.
No, really, really looking forward to you. And you got a gift as well, didn't you?
I did.
Except you put it away in your handbag so quick so you couldn't lose it. Do you remember the names?
No, but they smelt it. They smelt
right.
Divine.
Kaylee, Spencer's been away. How's it been?
Spencer's been away. It's been fun.
Has it been fun? I'd like to say when he watches this back, but Spencer's the last person
He will not watch this back.
who watches his own show. Spencer, if you are watching, we hope you're well and have been travelling safely. I last saw Spencer in Ibiza. He was the best dressed man on the island. I can't really describe. But he had a great hat. You wouldn't expect Spencer to wear it. And I'm not talking baseball cap. It was a bit like a Wurzel Gummidge sort of straw hat thing. But he did look good. So what's been going on at BQ? What's been happening?
No, a lot of selling, buying. You know, I'm just... When the boss is away, the cats play, Gav.
Well, they may play, but are they playing at the buying and selling game?
They are.
Yeah. And have prices sort of steadied now? It's always something we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. They're in a... Yeah. I would say personally that they're settled.
Greg, what's your take on all the shenanigans over the last few months with the pricing of the watches and where we've settled back to? What's your take on it?
With BQ, every time I go there, I'm amazed at how busy they are. Everyone's on the phone, aren't they?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
So things are obviously still going well. We all knew that the price correction was going to come at some point. You can have things rise, but not at a trajectory like that. So as people say, it's a correction, isn't it, rather than any kind of crash.
Yeah.
And it was expected. So
yeah, I think
no major surprise.
The sensationalism comes from the YouTubers who don't necessarily deal in the watches, but just are sitting there commenting on it because it's sensationalism. But you're seeing things definitely sort of bottom out now in terms of where they're sitting. And listen, you must be, because you're doing two-way trade, aren't you?
Yeah, and listen, I think that actually at prices that people are now happy to pay, or now think that there's affordable, and
markets generally find a level, don't they?
Yeah.
That's what happens. People sit back, they settle, let it rest, and then it sort of goes from there. I'll tell you what I did see at the weekend. I don't know if you saw this, but Mr. Rafa Nadal won his, 14th French Open, and he was sporting that little beauty. I mean, Greg, could you ever see yourself with that on the wrist? That's very special, Richard Mille.
I think I could carry that off. That's,
100%.
yeah, that's yeah.
Okay, that's an RM2704, which he wore for Roland Garros. Weighs just 30 grams.
Mad.
Even had his name put on it in case he loses it, so you can return cents. A bit like a school PE kit, isn't it? Was launched last year, limited to just 50 pieces globally, and has a list price of $1,050,000.
Unbelievable.
That's a little bit special, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what that ends up being. Well, the RMs that are sort of 200k are up at the 1.5 million on the secondary market. So
let alone it being a list price.
And looking at it, actually, look, the Mad Watch Color, he wore that while playing. Russell, do you wear yours while you're playing? If you look at the actual face, it supposed to look like the strings on a racket, Russell.
Oh yeah.
Some little titanium strings there, I think. Very, very nice. I like that, but I don't think I'm ever going to see it. But congratulations to my good friend, Rafa Nadal.
The most Grand Slams now of anyone?
Yeah, absolutely.
22.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane, actually, to think that he's up to 22 and basically Djokovic is right up his backside as well.
The other to Federer and Djokovic, I think they've got 20 each. So if you think between three of them, 62.
I know, what a generation. And they were competing
16,
against each other.
Years.
And Murray managed to pinch a couple as well while he was...
any other era, imagine what he'd have won if he wasn't up against
Paul
Century.
Thorpe says, they can find 50 people mad enough to buy that. I actually think it's a good looking watch. Obviously not on the money. If it was 250 quid, I'd have a little look. Greggie, would a Tellier Orange Sanguine wear that watch?
That's a great fragrance. Whoever made that comment. That's,
not many that was
people
Thurston
know that
Howell III.
Yeah, that's a great summer fresh fragrance.
Yeah,
good for playing tennis as well.
Ray Harrison says bonkers price for something weighing the same as a swatch. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, Ian Nicholson, only Greggie can afford that without having to save a couple of months' wages.
I wish, mate. I wish.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What about the big news? The London Watch Show is back on the 17th and 18th of September. I haven't seen much about that, to be fair.
No,
I haven't seen
somebody
it plastered all over social media.
That it had been announced, but we'll have to see. What the plan is for it.
Absolutely.
It's really interesting if they can have sort of two in such a short space of time, whether it will still have the same effect. But we'll see.
Yep. And Russell says Rafa's dad got one as well. Oh wow, that's not bad, is it? Everybody's getting one. Now we brought you down to BQ today, and Spencer's away. And he'll go nuts when he sees these. I said, pick out some watches, and tell me why you're picking them out. So let's have a look. This is Greggie's choice. Let's have a little look. What have you got first?
So I literally, we raided the safe, and I literally went just for things I like. So they're not going to be things that you haven't seen before necessarily. So we've got the Aquanaut, which I'll pass to Gav, which Kaylee knows a reference for, but I don't.
Kaylee, fire it in.
It's the 5167R.
So that watch, I remember looking at the watch show, the first one back in September, and I think it was about 80 grand at that time, which I think the retail's probably, I'm guessing around 30 to 35. So that was crazy, but I think it went way over 100 and probably still around the 100 sort of
mark. Around the 100, Kaylee, around the 100 mark.
Without looking, I think it's about 100, 90, 100, but but please don't hold me to that.
But I just love, I've always said, I think I've said before in the comments on this show that it's not a spectacular watch.
Yeah. It's unspectacularly spectacular.
That's it. There's just something about it.
Yeah.
It's just got class. So yeah, I would love one of those.
Okay, so I'd like to reward you with coming all the way down from near Ipswich, Greg. Spencer, this is it's okay. That's Happy Christmas. That's for you.
Lovely.
Okay. But I mean, do you put it on? Do put it on. Have a little look. See what it looks like on you. Absolutely. Sure, Spencer will be delighted to take a part exchange of a Black Bay Pro.
Fair swapping it. Will it go? Oh, it does go on.
Oh.
And tell me, because I always find it looks so much better on the wrist than just off it. I mean, it's so elegant. It's so smart.
It's beautiful. It really is.
He says as he puts his Amiga Moonswatch back on.
It's actually quite small, but then again, I've got ridiculously big wrists.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a beauty.
The Epster wants to know, who'd win at tennis, Greggie or Gav? Probably need a defibrillator. The Epster, I would just like to bring to your attention, please go back and watch my video of Russell, the Mad Watch Collector, the tennis pro, Gavin and Spencer playing tennis, and then come back to me with your defibrillator comments.
You were a bit handy. I used to be all right at tennis when I could actually run around. Yeah. But I was massively impressed with you at tennis, with the old left hand.
Yeah, lefty. Yeah, I don't mind a bit of that. What did you pick up next?
It was the Daytona, I think.
The Daytona on the... Now, let's have a look at this. Reference number, please, Kaylee.
116518LN.
So I couldn't decide whether the yellow gold or the Oyster Flex, but this is the Paul Newman dial one.
Now, what is it about that? Because, there's plenty of Daytonas in...
Yeah, I'm not generally a massive Daytona fan. There's something about that dial configuration. I just love it. I wouldn't, most of the sort of stainless steel ones, I'm not a massive fan, but there's just something about that.
In the yellow.
It's kind of a vintage-looking, classic sort of dial,
Yeah.
But I would absolutely love one of them for sure.
Nicola, hello, watch people. I hope you're doing well, Nick. Derek Fox, try some beautiful Pateks on in Dublin at a display in Weirs. Heavily Mark says, Jiggy Jacks, Grail, watch that.
It is a beauty.
Yeah, I do love that.
That's beautiful. Okay, and next up.
Yep, next one we have.
Everybody's favourite. You can't not love this.
So, this is the olive dial yellow gold day date. Is it yellow? No,
I think it's rose, isn't it? It's the lights in here. Rose gold.
I think this is probably still my favourite day date. The new ones that have come out are fantastic, but this
pop this under the...
this olive dial I think is nicer than the new green. I didn't realise until I went and saw the new green dial that it's actually the same colour as the OP.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
That?
No, the new one. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a little bit disappointing. So it wasn't quite as exciting in the flesh as I thought it would be. So
that's more of a pea green than an olive.
It's a funny kind of it's just not very vibrant or exciting. But so the Onyx dial was the one that I saw that was the nicest. But going back to that model, I think that's probably still my favourite.
And is that could you see yourself wearing that watch? Money aside,
I would wear it, but probably limited occasions when I would wear that because it's kind of dressy.
Yeah,
I'm not really a dressy kind of guy. You might have noticed, but I'd wear it on special occasions, going out to a nice restaurant, going to the theatre, something like that. Which I guess is what. Yeah,
the Aristocrat says, hot take: the Olive Day date is one of the most overhyped watches.
It's all opinions, isn't it?
Yeah,
something. If you like something,
I can't disagree about the overhyped part, but what I would say is, hype aside, it is a stunning looking watch. And since I've sort of started learning more about the watches over the course of the year and a half doing the show, the presidential bracelet has really grown on me. I really think that's very smart and very elegant, and very presidential, funnily enough.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best bracelet ever invented, actually.
Absolutely, ever invented. And then we found like we can't. What do we call this drawer, Kaylee?
The drawer we shouldn't have been in.
Yeah,
what do we call it?
That's what it's called.
Like the pre-approved, hasn't been for service.
Yeah,
only just been
brought. Yeah,
only just been bought, not touched. Needs to go and be what do you call it?
Quality controlled.
Quality controlled. So QC'd. So and you saw this.
Yeah.
As we were diving down.
So we'll put it under the camera in a minute so you can see, but you might be able to see from here. This is the original root beer, which actually is a root beer kind of colour, unlike the current one. But there's something kind of, I don't know, it's just some of them older models, there's just something classy about them.
What amazes me actually about the older models is they feel very unluxurious. They feel a little bit rickety, don't they?
They do, and they wear quite a bit smaller, the older GMTs as well, because the lugs are smaller, so it's not quite it is quite different to wearing a GMT too.
What I like about it, and it's a funny pick because I don't think I'd ever wear necessarily two-tone, but the bezel in the brown and the yellow, because it does look very yellow here, actually looks quite nice.
It's different. You're not going to see many of them, are you?
No.
No. Uncle Jonga, my favourite vintage Rolex all day.
Well, Jonga's got the current one and he absolutely loves it.
Yeah. Wow. I love the presidential bracelet. If only it was available on other Rolex watches, says Nick Nicola. Yeah, it's beautiful. Not too expensive, this one either. I mean, I'm not sure I had a price on it, Kaylee, and you're not going to comment on the price because you don't know because it's just come in for QC. But I can't see that being a big priced piece.
No, compared to the other ones we've got out, I'm guessing that's going to be more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the cheapest out of the ones that you've got bought out.
Yeah.
But it is still a very hot watch, like a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's very vintagey and people still love it.
Yeah.
It's the one you see fewest of, isn't it, of the old GMTs?
Yeah. Now, there was another watch that was released, I believe it was this week, from AP in line with their 50th anniversary. Let's have a look at this. I came across this there while I was scratching around the internet. This is the AP Royal Oak. This is the Carolina Bucci limited edition. It's a ladies' watch. It's 34mm. But I really, really like the look of this. It's in a sort of ceramic black with a rainbow face. Let's have a look.
Nice. It doesn't look like a 34 on the images.
No, it doesn't.
I really like that.
It does look
classy.
really, really nice, doesn't it? Let's go back to the front images. It's limited to, I think it was 300 pieces, and it's $54,000. But I got to tell you, if that came in a man size, that is a good looking piece.
Yeah, I love the rainbow.
Really is a
came
stunner,
in
isn't it?
size, you could get yourself down on for a 10-year wait for one of those, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's probably about a 10-year wait, isn't it? I don't know many people have got APs, to be fair, apart from Spencer and Paul. Paul's got a few, hasn't he?
Paul's got a few. It's his favourite.
Haven't you got?
I've got one, which I bought off Spencer.
Yeah,
enough.
That's right. You did, didn't you? Now, I see you've brought some of your own stock in to surprise us with today.
I've bought a few different pieces because I know a lot of the guys that watch the channel often mention in the comments see something a bit different.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of micro brand watches and also just a couple of more affordable watches. There's nothing spectacular, but I thought just show something different for a change. So first of all, I'll pass these over to you.
Yep.
So this
Alrighty.
watch that Gav's got.
Let's just have a little look at we're going to turn it around so we can see them all.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're all exactly the same model. It's a Doxa Sub 200.
Which I've heard Russell talk about.
Yeah, Russell likes them. He commented the other day when I was wearing it on the video I was on with Paul. So various colours available. Doxa always do bright colours, and they're just really fun watches that you can wear without having to worry about it, and good summer watches.
Now, this one must be very special because it's a Tiffany blue.
I love the colours.
It's a Tiffany blue.
It is. That should be worth a few quid.
That should be worth a premium, shouldn't it? In fact, let's see if I can get that into the light a little bit more.
They're actually they're about £900 each.
Okay, so that's not bargain bucket.
No, it's but they're Doxas. They're people have got mixed opinions, but they are well made watches.
Where are they made?
Well, I believe, and somebody that knows more, I believe they're actually the brand is now Australian. Strangely, I think it was revamped, and I believe that they source parts mainly from Switzerland, but it's not manufactured there. Now, I could be talking rubbish. It's not my area of expertise.
I promise you one thing, Greg. If you're talking rubbish, all your mates are about to let you know.
Yeah.
Because they'll all pile in the comments.
But I'm sure I've heard somewhere that Doxa have got some ties with Australia, and they, rather than being exclusively like Swiss, they source parts in.
What's your favourite colour?
Hold on, here's a Paul Thorpe special.
I think the blue's the most striking, but for me, it probably doesn't work quite so well for me. But probably the orange.
Yeah, the Tango.
I do like orange.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, they're just nice, fun watches to wear.
Andrew Woodward is asking Greggie's thoughts on using watch winders. Let the reserve run down or keep them running.
I take my advice on this from Alex, Perpetual Time, Alex Photo, you guys know, and I asked him, and his opinion is never put them in watch winders.
Never
leave
put
them alone. And I actually said to him, because my watches are all in the bank, and I only visit the bank every 6 to 8 weeks, I said, when I go there, is there any benefit to winding them, or is there any detriment to not winding them? And he said, no, absolutely not. On modern watch, just leave it alone. So if anyone knows, he does. So that's the way
That's how you do it.
how I do it. I like to pick the watches up like we all do and wind them and play with them because it's part of the fun, but I don't religiously keep them moving or anything like that.
Yeah. Aces Full says, what's inside the Doxa? Is it an SW200? Question mark. We'll look that up for you. And Ian says, Doxa do bright colours, especially orange, as it's the easiest colour to see underwater. Doxa done a lot of research on this point. Nicola, I love the orange one, but it's 42 mil, a little bigger than I'd normally wear.
It's actually a 40, but it wears smaller. It might be deceptive on the camera.
Right, okay. Yeah. And Heavenly Mark says, I thought the Jenny family in Switzerland owned and run Doxa.
See, he might.
Yeah.
I know I've watched something somewhere where somebody posed a question to them about their manufacturer, and there was something to do with, I can't remember, I might be wrong.
Yeah. Bufferet says, lovely man, Greggie.
Oh,
that's you.
What a nice
That's
compliment.
you. There we go. So, in fact, do you mind if I just try one of these on?
No, go for it. Yeah, like I say, they're a 40, but they actually wear closer to a sort of a 39.
Oh, you're absolutely right. They do, don't they?
Yeah. So don't be put off whoever.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't actually.
It suits you, Gav.
It does, doesn't it?
They're quite striking.
Yeah, they are very striking.
They really are, aren't they? Really gorgeous. Greg, up and coming brands for you. Do you keep your eye out for everything? Are you constantly looking at sort of different watches across the board?
Yeah, I've recently, literally in the last few weeks, started to look at micro brands, and it's mainly because the watches I want I can't get. So predominantly Rolex and that kind of thing. So I've been looking at some micro brands, and there's some great stuff out there.
So what have you been looking at?
I've actually got a couple here.
Should I ask the question? You have some more.
There's a great piece. If anyone's interested, go online. A lot of you will know Teddy Baldassare. He's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
If you Google Teddy Baldassare micro brands, he's got an article and he goes through 51 different micro brands, talks about the heritage, the ethos, and lists a couple of their best watches. So that's what I did and came up with a short list, and I've just started to get a few. So the first brand that I am quite interested in is...
There's a word for you, Greg. It's called addict.
Addict.
Oh.
You really are addicted to this, aren't you?
Like we said when we were chatting before, anything that I get into, I tend to go a little bit crazy.
In. Oh my goodness! Look, it's another orange.
So this one here, I shall pass to Gavin in a sec. This is a brand called Fairer, which is a British brand, which obviously is something that interests me. And I've been looking at them for quite a while, and they've got a really good range of watches, and they're all based on style and colour. The finishing's great on all of them. They sort of range from, I guess, about 800 quid up to 1,500. That one's called the Thurso. It's only just come out. They're all limited edition, all numbered. Thurso apparently is the name of a wave, the biggest wave in Britain. It's in Scotland apparently. So, but that's quite small watch. But I really
I've got a funny feeling that lights up in the dark.
Yeah, it does. They've all got
it's got big loom on it, hasn't it? I can see from here. It's actually a really pretty looking watch.
Yeah, it's nice. I've only got that last week.
And the cost of this one?
That was just under 900. So again, not super cheap.
Yeah.
But if you're a watch addict and you've got money to spend on the watch, then it's reasonable.
So it's got the Star Trek sign on the side.
Anyone check them out if you haven't. It's called Fairer, F-A-R-E-R, and they've got a whole range of watches and some really good ones.
Really gorgeous.
So the other brand I've been looking at is a brand called, I'm not sure, I think they may be British as well, but I haven't done any research, and that brand is called Spinnaker. These are a bit more affordable, so I've bought these two that I've just bought. One's called the Brander, and one is called, I think it's called the Fleurs, I think is how you pronounce it. I got both of these for less than 200 quid from the Spinnaker website with a discount. This one in particular, I'm going to pass to you, Gav. It's got a 3D kind of effect on the bezel, which is a bit different.
Okay, let me just pop this one away first.
But this is, I think, as far as the micro brand goes, and that's micro brands going, it's not my area of expertise. These are one of the more respected and more popular brands.
And this was when you went through the article and just found.
Yeah, the article showed the sort of big hitters, if you like, from each brand. And I went through and I literally went through all 51 brands and got a short list. There's several I still
and chose the ones you love.
But these were at a really good price. That one's the Brander that you've got there. I think it was about 150 quid. It's got a Seiko NH35 movement, I believe. So it's a lot of watch for the money.
Yeah, it's got
and then the second one
deep, isn't it? On the case.
Yeah, they're impressive for the price.
Are you ever going to wear these, or do these just?
Yeah, I am going to, because
you do plan to wear them.
I spend most of the day sitting at a desk.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, so and on my own. So there's,
well, you're never on your own, are you? You're always with all your YouTube friends.
Well, this is it.
Yeah, isn't that right, Ian Nicholson and Kelvin?
My best buddies.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about you later.
Lawrence Fahy asked Greggie, "What Zero West floats your boat?"
I like Zero West. I haven't bought one yet, but when I saw them at the London Watch Show, I was really impressed. But I think the thing with that I haven't found the one yet, well, I haven't produced it yet, that's the one that's going to make me pull the trigger.
Yeah.
But when they do, I'll definitely buy one. And I have to say, they are such nice guys.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely blokes.
Yeah.
And yeah, well made, and a great story behind the watches. So I will get one at some point, but I just haven't found the one.
Yeah.
So that one's called the Fleurs.
Yeah.
And it's named after I can't remember what the guy
is
famous for. I think he's a diver or something. Can't remember. But it's, again, similar sort of price. I think it was about 150 quid, 42 mil, so it's quite substantial. But it's a lot of watch for the money. And yeah, like I was saying, because I sit at a desk all day, I like to rotate. I'll wear a different thing every day. And I've never had any qualms about wearing cheaper stuff. I've said many times before, I just wear what I like. It doesn't matter. So.
And what about your quest for the grail of a call from a Rolex AD? How's that going? Because I know you have a new AD that's opened up very near to you, and you've started your journey, haven't you?
I have. So I have never even attempted to establish a relationship with an AD, and everyone keeps saying you've got to do it. So thankfully this one's opened up near me, and I have. I got the Tudor Black Bay Pro, which was nice because there is a waiting list, surprisingly, for Tudors, as we said earlier. But no Rolexes yet, but I'm going to carry on. What's
your name down for your first one?
I went in quite sort of conservative. I said a black sub date because I actually haven't got one.
Yeah, I'm after a no date.
I'm
2 years waiting.
Classic.
I'm a marked man.
Yeah, you've got no chance, have you?
I've got no chance.
So I went with that and a yellow gold day date and a Milgauss.
Oh.
I didn't want to go in with GMT Daytona and just what everyone asks for because they'd be expecting that. I thought I'd go in and try and, play the game a little bit. But I haven't had any success yet, but you just got to be patient, I guess.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed.
Kaylee, you're seeing lots of 2022 watches coming through at the moment.
Yeah.
It's specifically what? And by the way, you've told me you were sort of kind of getting out of Batmans and Batgirls as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we keep running out. To tell you what, we're being offered a lot. The new yellow gold Yachtmaster on an Oyster Flex.
Right.
So it's like they've started coming out now because I'm being offered one every day. And also the new Date Just 41 with the green dial. Don't know if you know which one I mean.
Yeah.
So that's lovely.
So they seem to have just been.
And is it literally like rotation, like you just said, the Yacht Masters are coming? Do you see like a constant run of stuff coming where you know that
everyone calls up that like it will normally be like that week, and that's when that's what's come out.
So they're all landing at the ADs at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is that some people, because they're brand new pieces and then none out, everyone thinks that they can then get so much. Do you know what I mean? So much more for them. Just because they're brand new, but actually
the prices are the prices.
The price, they're still, do you know what I mean? We have to, if they're selling online for 35, I can't buy them for 35, unfortunately.
No, that's
I do apologise.
That's fair enough.
But yeah.
Rara says, evening guys, nice to see you, Greggie boy. Uncle Jonga, can't give enough props to Greggie boy, one of the nicest and most sincerest fellas out there.
Oh,
did you pay him to say that?
That's very nice.
We were saying,
about you, mate.
we went out for dinner first, didn't we? As we always do. Anybody who comes and decides they want a guest host here can have dinner on us. We were saying what a lovely little world we sit in terms of, that Watch Guy London, our little gang of merry men.
Yep.
Everybody's become friends now, and you've made some good friends, haven't you?
Yeah, it's superb. As we were saying, there's very few people within your community that aren't great people. You get the odd few comments, but you get that from anyone. But generally, 99% of people are great. And yeah, I've met really good friends through watching this channel, and people that I speak to virtually every day.
Yeah,
Jonga, Kelvin, Ian, loads of guys.
Now you've got a message, haven't you, for Kelvin and for Ian specifically?
I do.
Yes.
As a handover from the guest host, I extend the welcome on behalf of BQ Watches and That Watch Guy London for the both of you to get your asses on a train and come and guest host the show 1 week.
Yes.
Because everyone wants to see you on the show.
I 100% agree. Ian has won more competitions than my grandma, and I would love to see him come and guest host. So we're going to do a baton handover. You're going to hand over the baton at the end of the show. The invitation is out to you two boys to get yourself down to London for the day. We're going to do a live stream. We're going to take you out for dinner. You have to stay over, unfortunately. But we would love to see you guest host. Now, that relies on Spencer being away, and it seems to me like he's having a lovely time away because he hasn't come back yet.
That's it.
So things must be okay somewhere. Not that we don't miss you, Spence. So, yes, guys, if you'd love to come and guest host, Greg would love to hand over the baton to you. Nicholas says, that's a reason for that, Greg. There's a reason for that, Greggie. This channel is one that totally avoids all the drama crap. Yes, that's true. Andrew Woodard, great show. Good to have GB on. Clearly has an appreciation of watches and presents well. Paul Thorpe, watch dealer, says, we will need a translator. Why, I will do subtitles, man. Don't you worry about that. Funnily enough, I noticed the pair of them have gone very quiet. That's interesting, isn't it?
No one's talking.
Yeah.
They'll be there.
Yeah. Greg, what is it you specifically love about watches? I know we sort of talked about this in the past, but for those who haven't seen the first show you hosted, what is it that hooked you?
I think we've discussed it, you and I, before, that I said that there's not that many things that guys are into, like to accessorize themselves. So the fragrances is one thing that I'm into, watches, fragrances, maybe trainers, but we don't have all of the other things, the makeup, and not always, that women have. And it's just, I think I just gravitate towards certain things. I'm definitely not an expert on the inner workings of a watch. It's all about the way they look and the way they make you feel. Exactly. And it's just, I just stumbled across it as a hobby and just massively got into it now. I love it.
And it was your parents who bought you, they gifted you your sort of first special watch for a special birthday, didn't they?
On my 40th, which was a few years ago,
yeah.
My mum and dad said they wanted to buy me something that I could keep, as a memento for the bit. And I said, how about a watch? And so I got a Tissot, I think it's a PRS 516 it's called, which I still love, still wear. And from getting that watch, I started going online and going on forums and YouTube, and it just went down a rabbit hole. And went from a Tissot onto, I think, an Omega, and then a Bright thing, and then it went on and spiraled. And now I'm in the addiction, like a lot of us. So.
And I wonder if all of you out there, all of you guys watching the channel tonight, if you have a sort of a similar story, do you feel like this whole watch thing is a bit of an addiction? Because I've got to tell you, it does bite you. It does get. I've bought about 6 watches this month. I don't think I'll ever wear half of them, other than to put them away and look at them and keep them. But it's something that just grabs you, doesn't it?
I think a lot of it, and what you said is true, I think it's the hunt as well.
Yeah.
Because you said you've bought them and put them away, and I do the same thing. And it was the same with fragrances. I always was searching for the greatest fragrance of all time. And as soon as I got a new one, sprayed it a few times, went to the side, and then started the search. And it's the same with the watch. The grail you want, you get it. Now you've got it. You've you've achieved it, you put it to one side, and then you start all over again.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
So when I got the I can't call it the call for the Tudor, but I did. I got a call from the very nice man, and he said, Mr. Adnan, your watch is in. I could not get down there quick enough. And I didn't. I tried it on, he sized it, and then I went home, put it away, and haven't opened it since. And actually, I do intend to wear it, but
It's
I have
crazy
to be.
though, isn't it? It
Well,
really
it is
is.
crazy, but do you know why it's crazy? Because I just haven't taken these moon swatches off. And everywhere I go, for some reason, for 220 quid, it seems to start lots of conversations, which is amazing, really.
It is, and you, as we were discussing earlier, you and your proof, you can get as much enjoyment out of that as you can wearing your Hulk.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be about money. It's just about what works for you.
100%. Greggie, gun to your head, if you could only have one fragrance that's still available, what would it be? Thurston Howell III asked that.
One that's still available. The greatest fragrance of all time is Dior Fahrenheit, in my opinion. And I've smelt over 100,000 fragrances, at least a lot more than that. And
Fahrenheit, that's in the
Fahrenheit in the red bottle.
Yeah.
That's a 50 or 60 quid fragrance.
Yeah, I
It's
think
still
it's
the
too
greatest.
sweet.
It's a fragrance there's no middle ground. You love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
But it's got like a petrol note in there.
Right.
That's the key. But it's just a work of art.
Yeah.
So it's not the most exotic fragrance, but it's the greatest ever for me.
Andrew Woodward asked a question. What's everyone's thoughts on wearing an equivalent fake of your usual favourite watch when you deem somewhere you're visiting is high risk?
Just my honest opinion is just don't touch fakes at all. I
I
think
agree.
they're horrible things. They support a horrible industry of crime and stuff that that's behind producing them. And what's the point if you're not wearing, it only matters what you know.
Correct.
And if you know you've got a fake, you're going to get no enjoyment out of that.
I
that's my
absolutely agree with you. The enjoyment comes from knowing what you've got on your wrist.
Yeah.
And also not putting yourself in, I say dangerous situations. I wear my watches everywhere. I don't necessarily, if I go into town, I wear my watches.
Also, the thing is, what is it you're trying to avoid by not wearing a watch? Is it getting it stolen or is it getting smacked over the back of the head? Because wearing a fake, you're still going to get smacked over the back of the head.
Yeah.
I saw on Paul's channel a couple of weeks ago before I went away, there was a very lovely young lad who got his he got his watch stolen, and it was a Tudor GMT. They were obviously thinking it was a Rolex, and he got followed. So actually, you're going to get stopped and held up for whatever you got on your wrist. If someone assumes it to be the same, the only thing you're losing is not as much money.
Yeah.
And of course,
Which is secondary at the end of the day when you're talking about a violent attack. The fake's not going to
yeah,
save
Glenn
you from
Corkle
that.
says it is fake. It's just as bad. You'll still get mugged.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicola, I was in Camden Market last weekend, and the stalls are flooded with fake Rolex watches. They're everywhere.
The other thing that I would say is, I don't think hardly anyone in my world has ever even noticed what watch I was wearing anyway.
Yeah.
So whether I was wearing, it wouldn't impress anyone else. Not that I'd be trying to. So
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. As I was saying, the moon swatch seems to spark conversations on 2 plane journeys. I do not speak to anybody on a plane. I just want to watch my film, or what did I have to watch this time? Stranger Things. And twice people stopped me to have a chat, and we then spoke the whole journey about watches. And it is amazing how many people really are just into these things. The Epster, I do like the Creed Original Santal.
yes, very nice fragrance.
Yeah.
Nice red juice, lovely.
Uncle Jonga asks, if Greggie Boy had to choose a one and done watch for life, what would it be?
I think he knows the answer to that. It'd be the bluesy. The
bluesy.
two-tone bluesy.
Kaylee, for you, one watch for life, what would it be?
Probably that date just.
That date just.
The 36 with the green dial and the diamond 6 and 9.
Ah, yes, you love that, don't you?
I love that. As much as obviously I love the yellow gold Daytona with the green dial, I do just think that I can wear that every day without, do you know what I mean, without fail.
Yeah.
But the yellow gold Daytona, like we were just talking about, I wouldn't want to wear it every day.
Glenn Corker says G-Shock is the way to go in dodgy areas. I don't pay much attention, I don't think, to dodgy areas, and I don't know. I don't think about it.
I do. I never used to, but I've kind of think I've watched so much content about it. That's kind of I'm thinking about it more now. Where I live, I don't really have to worry about it too much. But if I'm going to London, I wouldn't wear anything. But
yeah, I mean, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's because the watches I wear, although I do have some, that are, I would call them valuable. They're valuable to me.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't want to get held up for one, but the bottom line is it's there to enjoy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's I think that's the point of that.
Since you mentioned G-Shocks,
yes. What, you have just another one in your bag?
I have a present for you.
No way.
Stop it.
Stop it. All these little gifts that... Greg, you didn't need to do that. Wow.
You'll see
Blown
why
away.
I chose that one in a moment.
I'm going to have a little look. That's really kind of you.
My pleasure.
What have we got? I love G-Shocks. The suspense. Oh. Greg. Greg. That is insane.
It's the blue one of the yellow one.
It's the blue one of the yellow one. No, hold on a second, Greg. It's not just the blue one. It's the Tiffany blue one. That is absolutely stunning. Let's move that out of the way. That needs... My friend, thank you so much. I'll have a handshake on that.
You're welcome,
thank you so
mate.
much. That's absolutely beautiful. It's upside down. You're absolutely right, James. I can't even see with my glasses on. I'm shaking. That's so nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. When the one that you showed, the yellow one last, I think it was last.
Yeah, the
week
boys
before,
bought me that.
It was so nice, and I was asking you what the model was, and
You were?
didn't know, so I looked it up afterwards, and I thought I'll get you the blue one.
It's going straight on. Thank you so much, Greg. That's so wonderful of you.
That's all right. No problem.
Gavin, G-Shocks and Nike, I think that says. What does Greg think of clone fragrances?
Not a fan of those either, to be honest.
Greg, that's mental.
It's
Gav,
nice,
you're
isn't it?
so lucky, aren't
Look
you,
at
on
that.
this show?
Yeah, Kayla, what can I tell you?
No, but I've actually just sat here and thought, you're so lucky.
Yes.
I'll bring you something next time.
Yeah,
we have
it's
to say what watches you like, Kaylee.
No, but Gav, I
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're
just
welcome.
like makeup
Wow.
and shoes.
You like makeup
I like
and shoes?
watches, even though I work with watches. But
Yeah.
Sorry, the clone fragrances.
Yeah.
So my opinion on them is, I don't like them. The reason being that fragrances are like a creation. They're art. Somebody's put the work in, probably over months or years, to create this thing, and then somebody just takes their creation and sort of backward engineers it and puts out their own version. So that's theft in a way.
Yeah.
So each their own, but I'm not a fan.
Can I ask you a question? Because like some things in life I get and I understand, so I will go in and I will look for a fragrance. And you know me, I do have a wide
got a nice
collection,
yeah.
really nice collection. But to me, there's still a price point limit where I feel it's value for me to wear. And maybe I have that with watches as well, because there's certainly a threshold I definitely don't cross. And it's not necessarily sometimes about affordability. It's about, in my head, what I think's right. So when I go and buy, I went the other day to buy, oh my God, it's going to come back into my head in a second. Lemon bottle. Sorry? No, not limoncello. Mass brown. Oh my God, it's gone right out of my head. It'll come back to me in a second. Really smells of lemons though. Yellow box. It's everywhere.
Modern fragrance? Or
Yeah, modern.
Yellow box that smells of lemons.
Yes, it's they sell it everywhere. It'll come back to me in a second. Aqua de Parma.
Oh, yes.
Okay, which I love. Until I went into Selfridges the other day to buy it, and I said, I'll take a bottle of Aqua de Parma. And he said, that'll be £190, please. And I thought to myself, I don't ever remember paying £190 for a bottle, certainly not that bottle of aftershave. And I think to myself, what changes in the aftershave that all of a sudden it starts to become very, very super expensive? Like Creed, I don't wear Creed, and I don't like the smell. But equally, I wouldn't pay £300 for a bottle. No. What is it? What goes into them that makes them sort of super expensive?
A lot of the time, nothing. A lot of the time, it's marketing and hype. There are some fragrances, like natural ingredients, are more expensive. Things like ouds are very expensive. But a lot of brands, there's nothing in there to justify the price difference compared to a designer fragrance. Aqua de Parma, they're a nice brand. You can get them much cheaper if you search around. They're not particularly long lasting, but they're very classy Italian style fragrances. But
yeah, because I was always led to believe that the whole point of why a bottle of aftershave was so expensive is all about the marketing. It was basically you were paying, £2 for the aftershave and 130 quid for the box, papers, packaging, and advertising.
The margin on fragrance from manufacture to final sale is absolutely huge. I mean, 95% the final price of what it costs. So even the really expensive stuff to make doesn't cost anything like. But there's a limit to how good anything can smell to cost £3,000 like some bottles do that I stock, you know.
Wow. Heavily Mark asks, a question for Greggie Boy. Can aftershave damage clothing colour with the ingredients? I find bleaching stains on some black T-shirts and it points to where I've sprayed myself. Noir, extremely, mainly. I can't even understand that, Mark. Sorry.
Mainly noir, surely is what you mean.
Extreme,
noir extreme, mainly, yeah.
Yeah. Generally, no. It's usually it's usually when the fragrance has a deep colour. A lot of the dark reds that contain quite a lot of oud, they stain clothes, and that's why they make a crystal version of a lot of them that's clear, because a lot of them, they're sort of Arab fragrances, and obviously they wear white.
Yes.
So it stains the clothes. So, but something like Noir Extreme, I wouldn't expect to stain clothes. But you shouldn't spray them directly on your clothes, because they're designed to go on skin, and they don't develop the same on clothes. Right. They don't go through all the different stages and evolve. So.
I love how you're an expert on this.
Such a geek.
It's so geeky. It's brilliant. And do you know as much about ladies' perfumes or parfums as well?
Yeah, most of the high-end fragrances are actually unisex. So anything that's not designer, that we call niche, generally they're genderless. So
I love Chanel. Well, I'm saying I haven't got a Chanel, but
Chanel's amazing fragrances.
Yeah. Nick Nicholas says Dior Sauvage has become one of my staples lately.
That's the best-selling, commercially the most successful fragrance in the world at the moment.
Because of Johnny Depp.
And it smells very clean, very fresh and inoffensive, but it's not going to blow your mind. But, you know, for most occasions, you just want something that smells clean.
Uncle Jonga says, I'm hooked on oud for greatness.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I've got quite a few people into that one.
Keith asks a question for you, Kaylee, which, good luck. How much will I have to pay for a solid gold Rolex Yachtmaster 2?
What year?
What year? Keith, answer. What year? How did you get into the business, Greggie? 4CDs is asking. And I know we've probably covered this before, but tell everybody.
The fragrance business came out of an actual need I had myself. So as with the watches, I became a fragrance addict, and within a couple of months I had like 100 bottles of fragrance, and a lot of them I didn't like because I was blind buying them, just buying them online. So had I had an opportunity to try some of them first, I wouldn't have bought all the ones that I bought. So the idea came, because nobody was really doing it, to provide a service where people can try fragrances before they go online and buy them. And especially for the high-end stuff where there's no stores where you can test them. And some of them are, upwards of, they're hundreds, even thousands of pounds. You need to be able to test them, because if you buy it, you can't send it back. So it came out of an idea. Fragrances was a hobby, and I had a need, and I kind of turned it into a business. And
amazing.
And got lucky.
You told me once upon a time, always good to get lucky as well, that you also resell the bottles after, don't you?
Yes.
There's a marketplace for empty bottles.
It's kind of strange, but try and get every single ounce out of it. And so the empty bottles, there is a market. I don't know what people use them for. I don't really ask, not my business. But yeah, some of the high end niche fragrances, you can get quite a fair bit for the empty bottles, which is mad. Yeah.
And
I bet I've seen it, but if you on a lot of Instagram pages or stuff like that, a lot of them will use it to put lights in, or they'll put they'll use it as decoration, and they'll put stuff in it. Especially I've seen a lot of people with Chanel bottles where they put lights in it, or what's that thing that smells? Them flowers, but they're not
potpourri
flowers.
And stuff.
Potpourri, yeah.
Potpourri. Wow. 2012 was the year, Kaylee. Gold Yachtmaster. You're just going to pick a figure, aren't you?
No, but
call you in the morning
for us to buy, or for him to buy.
Well, it'd be for him to buy, I would imagine.
Yeah. I think he should. Yeah, call us.
Give you a call in the morning.
Yeah.
999. Let's be having you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's get to our questions from Instagram. And our first question up this week is What is your favourite watch brand, Greg?
I don't want to be really obvious, but it is Rolex. I'm not a fanboy. I like lots of watches, but it is my favourite brand is Rolex. Yeah.
And it's your favourite brand because?
Simply because the model, I just like the look of them. Just the models, the designs, everything about them, the way they're made. There's just no other brand that I've come across that I like as much.
And if you were talking to the CEO of Rolex now who hasn't supplied you with a watch at list, what would you say to him? I'm a fan. Can I have one?
I don't know what I'd say to him.
Fair enough.
Please give me one.
Please give us one. I love them. Let's go to question number 2. Is there one watch you've sold that you wish you hadn't?
I sold my Tudor Black Bay, the cherry red one, and then really regretted it. And a year later, I bought it back off the same guy that I'd sold it to.
You bought your own watch back?
Bought it back, yeah. And I bought it back for a lot less than I sold it for, so that was all right.
Oh, well, that's a good trade.
So I was
then.
glad to have it back. I shouldn't have sold it.
That's a really good trade.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Question number 3. What is the biggest challenge you face in the perfume business?
I think staying current with new stuff, because obviously you've got customers that buy quite a lot of your product, and once they've tried them, if you haven't got something new, they've got nothing left to buy. And there's so many fragrances come out every year that you've got to be really in tune with what's new and stay on social media and know what the trends are and make sure you've always got everything. So,
are there such things as trade magazines for you to buy in the perfume world? Are you allowed into that world?
What for me personally to advertise side of a thing?
Not to advertise, no, to sort of, like I sometimes see I go into BQ, there's watch magazines that come out every month and you can see what's going on in the watch world, or you have like Hodinkee where you can see the latest news and grab some images. Where do you find out about your sort of, where do you do your research?
It's all online. So there's a website called Fragrantica, which is kind of like an encyclopedia almost of perfumes. You can go and search any perfume you want, or a particular note, if you like musk or oud. You can type it in and it'll bring up fragrances with that in. And also it always lists all of the new releases from. So that's a good resource, but it's all online really. Everything's there.
James has just asked the question, how long was the wait for the Tudor? How long was mine was from day one.
I only had to wait 3 weeks, but I was told that I was very lucky to only have to wait that time. I think it's 6 weeks to a couple of months if you can get it at all.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, when was Watches and Wonders? What date was that? April. Yeah. So mine was basically a 2-month wait. And I'm actually going to wear it tomorrow now. Let's go to our next question. Question number 4 comes in. Can Gavin do 10 press ups? That's the same bloke who asked if I've ever been to jail. Yes, I can do 10 press ups. And
he did when he was in jail.
And I did when I was in jail in Monopoly. Yes, I can do 10 press ups. Tufty 1990, Greggie boy, when are you getting an FXD? Will suit you big time.
It's really nice. It's not on my radar at all, but they are nice.
Yeah,
I've got quite a few Tudors, so but that's not one that I'm looking for. But nice watch.
Question number 8, the Mad Watch Collector. Hi, Greggie boy. If you could only have 3 watch collection, what would the watches be?
Wow,
a 3 watch collection. What would they be?
So the bluesy that I've mentioned before would be the one and done. And the other 2 are probably ones that I don't have. So it would be the yellow gold day date that we just looked at.
Yeah.
The olive dial.
I told you could have that one. Oh, just take it home. Spencer's not here.
And probably that. I'm being honest but predictable, but probably the green dial gold Daytona.
The green dial, the John Mayer.
Yeah, the John Mayer.
Yeah, absolutely stunning.
Not because of the hype, just because I genuinely really like them.
Yeah. Fantastic. Kelvin O, do they do a fragrance and wonders rather than a watches and wonders?
That's a good idea. You might be onto something there, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. And 4CDs says, what do the manufacturers think of you reselling their fragrance?
It's a bit of a grey area, to be honest. It is a challenge. It's something we do have to be a bit mindful of, and it does cause some issues, but can't really talk an awful lot about that, but it is one of the stumbling blocks of what I do. Question
number 7. Gotham Bumana, thank you for your questions as ever. Top 5 most iconic Rolexes ever. Kaylee, you can jump in on this one as well. Well, it's got to be Paul Newman Daytona.
Definitely that. I would say, well, I've mentioned it 10 times already, I would say the Bluesy.
The Bluesy
is an iconic.
I'd also say just a date sub.
A date sub.
Yep.
Everyone has to have a date sub.
Has to.
Probably the Pepsi.
But do you know, I'd also say the Steve McQueen Explorer.
I was going to say the Steve McQueen Explorer as well, as an iconic.
Very similar to
which is very, very similar.
Because I think it's quite iconic. Like, you know.
Yeah.
You know it, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think them, actually. I think they're iconic. I think they're good ones. It's got a Daytona in there, Pepsi, like a GMT, and I think they're good.
Rolex watch collector says fragrance flipper.
Yeah,
laughing faces.
I'm a terrible fragrance flipper, but I do it for a living now, so it's all right.
Andrew Shadowy 202. What do you make of all these fake moon swatches sold on the likes of AliExpress? I have to be honest with you, I've not seen one.
No,
I don't look at things like AliExpress anyway. So, and I haven't seen one on eBay. I don't really look at eBay either. So, no.
See, I mean, it shows the success of those watches if someone's faking something that's only 200 quid.
Absolutely.
You know, it just shows how...
It does seem pretty ridiculous. Uncle John says Pepsi GMT, without a doubt, Rolex icon. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of the icons there. Question number 8. Do you see the watch market still dropping from AC94X? Kaylee, perhaps you could answer that one.
I actually think it's settling now. I actually think it's at, in my opinion anyway, I think they're at good prices now.
Yeah.
And affordable prices. I don't know what you think, Greggie.
Yeah, I think so. I think I sort of follow it quite closely, and I would say they're realistic now. They might be a little bit more of a slight drop, but I think
it wouldn't be a massive help.
No, I think they've taken the main hit. So
I think so as well. I would wholeheartedly go with that. And by the way, you know, if you've watched this channel since January, you will know we've all been screaming that it all went just a little bit too far and a little bit too crazy. And did stuff actually really trade all the way up there? Not so sure. I'm not so sure myself. But there's a difference between being affordable, because I think that's a big word when people are paying over list, to relatively settled. And I think that's kind of where we're getting down to. Markets always find their level. The buyers and sellers decide where they're going to do business, and that's kind of where it meets. So if that's kind of settled down, then it's kind of settled down. Steve W. Zeb Blue Milgauss for me. The Epster says, which is the better bluesy, white text or gold?
I like the new one, the 41, which is the white.
Yep, white text.
Oh, yeah,
Matt H says white text is better in so many ways. Gringa, good evening. Hope you are well. She says blimmin' love the Steve McQueen, as do I. So what did you do before starting the fragrance business?
I was in sales for probably about 20 years, basically managing other people's companies for them, mainly foreign companies, managing their UK business, launching their business, doing their marketing, their distribution, everything really. So eventually, after 20 years, I thought, rather than line someone else's pockets, I'll try and line my own and do something for myself.
Was it a big gamble for you at the time? I mean, you know, you have a job, you have an income, and then all of a sudden you decide, do you know what? I think I'm going to start a different business doing something no one does.
It was very nerve-wracking because obviously, like most people, I've got dependents. I've got a family, I've got a wife, 2 kids, mortgage, all of that stuff. But I did it when I was 40, and it was like a crossroads. I thought about starting a business, always wanted to, and I thought if I don't take the plunge, I never will, and I'll regret it. So I just said, no messing around, I'm just going to go for it 100%, and I did, and thankfully, you know, it's worked out well.
Tinoso says, Greggie, 4 fragrances for life, 2 niche, 4 designer to cover all seasons, day and evening wear, with a £600 overall budget. That's a lot to take in, isn't it? Should we start that again? Oh, he's just retracted it. I've read it and he's retracted it. Okay, so let's call it four essences for life.
Right, 4 fragrances for life. Okay, well, 2 niche and 4 designers, 6. So we'll do the 4 for life before we do 4 for life. Dior Fahrenheit. Rive Gauche by YSL. Unfortunately, that's discontinued. Gucci Pour Homme 2, which is also discontinued.
Yeah, I've got that.
And the 4th one would be probably Green Irish Tweed, Although there's a grey area as to whether that's a niche or a designer. So they're probably my 4 that I'd pick.
Okay. Thurston Howe the Third, thank you for your super chat. Best Tom Ford, irrespective of season.
Probably Tobacco Vanille.
I love
Certainly
that.
the most commercially successful of the private blends, and probably my favourite as well. I think Tuscan Leather's great. Oud Wood's great. There's not many Tom Fords that aren't good.
I found the Tuscan Leather a little bit too strong. Made me feel it was a bit cigar-y for me.
That's another love-hate fragrance.
Yeah.
There's no in between. It's very strong. And
Isn't it funny though with fragrances? You know what you like.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's kind of, you're either that person who will. Also, I'm drawn sometimes. I smell my fragrances on other people, and I think to myself, "Oh, that smells really different on you. I really like what you're wearing." And then I ask them, and it's probably what, but I can't. It smells differently on me.
They can smell totally different, which is why you've got to test them yourself. Because if you go out and buy it on the strength of smelling it on someone else, you get it on your skin, you might not even like it.
Andrew Shadowy 202 says, a silly question probably, but how much fragrance do you need to spray on, and whereabouts on the body to make an impression to others can smell it without being too overpowering?
So how much to spray is a personal thing. I'm what you call an oversprayer, go big or go home. So I will slather myself in it. Now, generally,
You've got stock.
between 2 and 4 sprays is considered the norm. You don't want to spray a really strong fragrance that's going to choke people out. You've got to go with the number of sprays depending on the fragrance. So there's no hard and fast rule. But 2 to 4, I'll go 25-ish. I'm not even joking. But in terms of where
25,
25 sprays. Yeah,
25 sprays
everywhere, and then stop, and then again. I think why not? If you're going to wear something, wear it.
That's a lot of profit out the window.
Yeah, so better. But yeah, in terms of where to wear it, the best places are actually pulse points, or the hottest parts of your body. So. Pulse points here, in here, in your clavicle there, on the back of your neck, because they're the points that are hotter, and pulse points that will actually make it project. So they're the best. Putting some in your hair is actually good for longevity, but as with clothes, it doesn't develop as it does on skin, but it still will give you a longer lasting fragrance.
Uncle Jonga asks, what does Greggie Boy think of Jeremy Fragrance?
For anyone that doesn't know Jeremy Fragrance, he is the Nico of the fragrance world in terms of size. He's got 2.5 million subscribers. Not a fragrance expert, but a real charismatic, gregarious kind of guy. And he just brought fragrances to YouTube and made it bigger for everyone. So I like the guy, but he's more of a sort of salesman actor type of thing than a fragrance connoisseur. But,
right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried producer Michael's new fragrance? That's from Dioptre 75.
I haven't. No, I need to try and get a drop of that off of Paul, actually.
Yeah, it's available at Harrods, and I know Paul's got a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's about 300 quid a bottle, so it's not one that I would or anyone would buy without trying. But
Here's a good one. Here's a good one, because I have one of these fragrances. I love Thurston Howe the Third. Any of the Hermes strike your fancy? I love the Terre.
Yes. Terre d'Hermes is, in my opinion, one of the 10 best fragrances ever created.
I agree.
There's 2 versions, an EDT and a perfume. The EDT is the best of the 2 for me, but it's absolutely amazing, stunning fragrance, and the best Hermes and one of the best fragrances ever.
Greg, tell everybody where they can find you on the Tinternet.
So I am fragrancesamplesuk.com. If you search for a fragrance, you'll probably find us anyway, but if you want to type it in, fragrancesamplesuk.com. Any viewers that are interested or want any help, you can hit me up, and I might even, if you send me a message, sort out a special That Watch Guy London discount for you guys.
Fantastic. James got very excited in the back room there. No one's ever offered him a discount or anything, never mind a watch. Greg, it's been fantastic having you down once again.
My pleasure.
Always an absolute pleasure. You know, there's a big seat to fill when these guys come down to do what you've just done.
If they come down.
Yeah, I'll make sure.
The challenge has been laid down to you boys. Come down and host with us. Come down when Spencer's next away. When is Spencer next away? Feels like he's never coming back at the moment.
Yes. So Oh God, I don't know. I will let you know because I'm not 100% sure when he's next away.
The Epster says Greggie needs to stand at the next London Watch Show. Intrigued to try some of the expensive stuff. He could charge a tenner for a spray experience.
A few people have suggested that. It could be an idea. Yeah. Well, the reason I haven't done it is because I go to the watch shows for an escape from work. You know, it's like my hobby stuff, and I didn't want to turn it into work. But it would be a lucrative, I think, to do it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, don't forget your going home present. That's for you.
Lovely.
Enjoy that in good health. Cheers, Spencer.
Yeah, thanks, Spence.
Cheers.
Appreciate that, mate.
And now you have the, well, first of all, just like to say thank you to everybody for watching this evening. If you haven't done so already, please do give us that little upvote. Bing! It does mean a lot to us and apparently helps some sort of algorithmic thing for attracting no new subscribers ever, which seems to be the way of it for us. It's now time for you to do the big handoff. Do you even remember?
I think so. So, if you haven't dealt with us yet, it's only a matter of time.
We'll see you all next week. Take
Bye,
care.
guys.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.